And now it's Sidebar with Del Rio and Caraway.
Welcome to Sidebar with Del Rio and Caraway. Dan, we have an interesting story coming out of Chicago about a woman who went to go buy a car and it didn't turn out so well. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is an unusual story. An African-American woman in Chicago goes into a car dealership and wants to buy a car. She brings in a $30,000 cashier's check to use as the down payment. For some reason, the car dealership decides this must be fraudulent and they call the cops. Cops come out and the cops decide to arrest her and she ends up spending the night in jail. As time goes on, charges get dropped because she's able to prove that there was nothing wrong with this. This was legitimate funds. Everything was correct. And so now the big issue is, were they essentially overzealous? And so it's essentially, look, in that situation, would a reasonably prudent person have thought that there was probable cause by the evidence that they saw when they were there in a situation where a lady was coming in to buy a car with a cashier's check?
Okay, and Chuck, another interesting story about a woman who went on vacation and was overserved. Tell us about it.
Yes, and so what you have here is you have a California resident that goes on a Caribbean cruise, which basically she buys the drink package, which allows you 15 drinks in a 24-hour period of time. She drinks 14 drinks, I think, in an 11-hour period of time, and as a result, she falls and she injures herself. What happens is there's two legal, pieces that come out of this, and one is the area where you can sue. That is, there's an arbitration clause in your contract when you purchase a cruise ship, and then the second thing is whether or not something called the Dram Shop Act applies. With regards to the arbitration clause, all of the Caribbean cruises typically say that you have to sue or go to arbitration out of Florida, which is what she did, and she did ultimately win her case.
Now, Dram Shop Act is an interesting bit of legislation. What it does is it essentially tries to confine the liability on those who serve alcohol. So they're only liable if they are serving an obviously intoxicated person, because that's kind of the idea is at that point you should know this is not going to go anywhere good.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time on Sidebar.
This has been Sidebar with Del Rio and Caraway.